At Adrian Steel, we understand that operating out of a cargo van and carrying cargo on top of your vehicle is a big part of your job. That's why it's crucial you're equipped with the right rack so you can work safer and at your peak performance. So how do you determine the right rack? The process is easier than you might think. We start by getting a solid understanding of your situation. We need to know what cargo you carry on the roof 90% of the time, what type of full-size van you drive, how often you access your cargo each day, and lastly, how tall you or other operators are. Meet Bob. Bob is a jack of all trades. In most cases, people like Bob carry cargo that includes 6 to 12-foot step ladders, 20 to 32-foot extension ladders, and even cargo like sheet goods, lumber, and pipe. Let's say Bob carries step ladders. If Bob requires a clean ladder when he enters his client's home or business, and the ladder fits inside the van, the right rack for Bob is an interior ladder rack. This solution is perfect for ease of access and keeping his ladder dry and clean. If internal storage isn't an option, then we'll secure it to the roof with a drop-down or grip lock ladder rack. Now, let's say Bob needs to carry 1 to 2 ladders on the roof 90% of the time. Whether it's step ladders, extension ladders, or any combination of the two, we need to take a look at the size of Bob's van. Does Bob drive a low, medium, or high-roof van? If Bob drives a medium or high-roof van, the healthy choice for Bob is the drop-down ladder rack. This rack allows Bob to safely access and stow step ladders and/or extension ladders without straining, stretching, or climbing up to reach them. We don't want to expose Bob to injuries from slips, trips, or falls because he had to climb up to reach his ladder. Imagine you're a company with 5 technicians. If Bob gets hurt, you've already lost 20% of your workforce. Ask yourself, is that something you can afford? Bob certainly can't. Now, if Bob has a low-roof van, there are a few more things to consider. First, how tall is Bob or the other operators that will be using the rack? If Bob is 5'4" to 5'7", the safe and efficient choice is the drop-down ladder rack. It's easier to reach, so it protects Bob from injury. If Bob is 5'7" or taller, we take a look at how frequently Bob accesses his ladders each day. If Bob uses his ladders 3 or more times a day, the healthy choice is the drop-down ladder rack because it automatically lowers and raises the ladder for Bob. When it comes to reducing operator fatigue and risk of injury, this is worth the investment. If he only needs to access his ladders once or twice a day, then the safe, efficient, and economic choice is the grip lock ladder rack. Let's consider one more scenario. What if 90% of the time, Bob needs to carry miscellaneous cargo and he has a low-roof van? First, we ask Bob if we can collaborate on an interior upfit that will allow Bob to safely stow sheet goods, lumber, and all but 1 to 2 ladders inside the van with solutions like tie-down kits, AD series shelving, interior ladder racks, or an E-track. The remaining 1 to 2 ladders will be secured safely to the top of the vehicle with a grip lock or drop-down ladder rack. If Bob needs to carry all of his miscellaneous cargo on top of his low-roof van, then the right solution is a utility rack with the rear assist roller. If Bob has a medium or high-roof van, it's imperative that cargo be moved to the inside of the vehicle because it's very unsafe for Bob to have a utility rack on a medium or high-roof van. Bob's workday just got better because he has the perfect setup with the right ladder rack. Going through the right rack process makes sure we recommend the safest and most efficient solution for users like you and Bob.